baby, listen to me speaking. Know how to move, just let it fly.
Pop, Perswayable. What's going on, everybody? So I want to give a big shout out to this individual for making this fan art of me. I've actually been doing a really bad job at not incorporating these in my videos, and it's because I have a video editing team that helps me with my live stream content, which I haven't been doing. And then I also have me who makes these videos. So I want to say that, yo, thank you for making this to me. I know I'm responding like 2 months later, but I'm going back into my email looking at all the people who wrote fan art, and I'm going to try to incorporate that in some of the videos. So definitely give this dude some attention. This is super nice of you, man. I really appreciate it. And just understand that there's nothing that I can do that can honestly pay you back for your time in this world. So thank you very much. Let's get on to the video now. So what we have here is tier 5 and 6 gameplay legendary rank mode, and I'm gonna do it from the perspective of the geisha. So for those who don't know, Identity 5 has incorporated a replay system. I'm gonna see if there's a way that I can block the hunter's name. And I'm going to try to explain what the hunter is doing, and in the process I'm going to explain what I do later in the match when they go against me. So this is a popular area of Red Church. If you spawn here, you need to be careful. A lot of top tier hunters will always go here. Unfortunately, the geisha, she dashed a little bit too early right there, but she also had the probability against her. She's going against a mercenary, and she knows that. So that's why she's moving on. A lot of top tier survivors, or rather hunters, they're not going to waste their time. Now, what you see is a whole bunch of players. We all transitioned away from here. We don't like being in this area. The other side of the map is technically stronger. If you look at Call of Abyss, you'll see a lot of survivors transition here. And so this is me being in the open like an idiot. I see it's a geisha, and now I'm trying to break line of sight. No matter where she comes, I'm trying to break line of sight, and that's why you see me go this way. And I'm going to move along the side here. I'm really just doing my best to break line of sight. And she just dashed, so I know that she used that against her. Or I'm going to use that against her, and I'm going to move. I know she can't dash yet, so I'm going to go, and I'm going to go towards this pallet, and I'm going to make it hell for her. So what she did right there is she tried to see if I was going to try to pallet stun her. Now, what she's doing is typical. She's thinking I'm going towards the window. That's an old kiting strategy. The new kiting strategy is get into this area of the map. And it just bought me about 6 to 10 seconds of transitioning. So one of the things that she could have done is, even if she broke the pallet, I still would have went straight. So one of the kiting strategies that we use in high tiers is to keep moving forward. And so right there, she thought that I was going to stun. I moved back, and then I stun her right there. So she thought that I was going to continue to run. So what I did right there is I pretty much just changed up her mind. She thought that I was going to constantly keep running through the pallets, which I usually do. But when I think that a hunter is catching on to that, I'm going to wait by the pallet and I'm going to stun you. And that's what works. So now she doesn't know what is my kiting style. Am I just going to run through the pallets, or am I going to try to stun you? And I don't mind doing stuns at all. It's just I can usually tell by the hunter if they think I'm going to stun or not. And what I'm constantly doing here, I used a perfume there. That was to be conservative. I did that in case she was going to hit me, in case I screwed up, because I have 150 ping. You're going to see that bite me in the butt right here. I don't have a perfume available, so she gets her first hit. So sometimes being conservative is actually going to work against you. And now I know that she can dash. I'm sorry, she used her dash, so she can't go through the window there, so that's why I can run out in the open. And I'm hugging the wall. I'm hugging the wall to make sure that she can't see me. This is why a lot of players used to complain about emulator geisha users, because you had the ability to dash through walls that mobile users didn't. It's an unfair advantage. So I know I'm going against a mobile geisha, so it makes the playing field a little bit more even. But what you see now is we're down to 2 ciphers. We're down to 2 ciphers, and the Prospector is going to keep doing a good job. This is how me and Duty operate. Me and Duty have about a 70% to an 80% win rate in legendary rank mode, and this is why we work well together. Whenever we kite in the beginning, we usually win the matches. Obviously, there's matches where I don't do as good in, just like every other individual. But what you see is Duty using the Prospector to really continue harassing this geisha and buying me enough time. Constantly stunning her away. This is how a lot of high tiers play. And this is why you have a lot of people asking for a Prospector nerf, and then rightfully so, in my opinion. So I'm waiting there in the corner to see which direction she comes in. She's trying to avoid the Prospector. So I'm going to keep moving forward. Now the prospector is going to do something very specific here. He's going to take the hit, throw the pallet down, and we're going to pop the cipher. He purposely took that hit. He took that hit, and he used the pallet right there to use a good time for us to transition instead of me going down. We're all at full health now, and we're all transitioning away. Now, I really don't know which trait the geisha used. Usually they use teleport. So any build that geishas, some geishas right now are trying to use blink because they're trying to be fancy and catch us off guard. Don't do that. If she had teleport, she would have been able to block a lot of us off. She also would have been able to teleport to somebody differently after wasting her time on mercenary. Let's move to the second match. So in advance, I would like to apologize to some of the other players. I can't really blur your names out. I'm learning how to just blur out the hunter. But what we see here is that geisha is going to go after the mercenary. All right. Gets a pretty good hit on him first. And so what he does is, instead of kind of running and, making distance between him and the hunter, he kind of sticks in this area. And it hurts him a little bit because geisha gets her dash back, and now that's the second hit. Now, in my opinion, the geisha should have actually put the mercenary on a chair and then teleport away. The reason being so is that it will activate Doom Shock, which is going to change soon. And she doesn't really have to worry about camping it. And then she can also have somebody get off of a cipher machine to go for the rescue, so only 2 people are kiting. But she decided not to. So here's me. What I'm doing is I'm really just going to kite this area. Now, this is more so something that you can really, really use against a geisha, especially with a perfumer, because I can activate my perfumes at the right time. Now, what's difficult is that her persona is almost maxed out. I used perfume there because I honestly thought that she was going to hit me. And one of the things that I taught people back in October is that although using your perfumes at the last minute is nice, and I thought that I was doing it right there, sometimes it's better to be conservative. So here's what I'm doing. I am tight kiting around this area so I can build up my next perfume. I don't want to be in this area of the map. She just caught me off guard. So I'm buying enough time to get my next perfume. That's why I'm doing this. I'm not running straight. I'm buying enough time. It's about 8 seconds to get my next perfume. She's going to hit me. And now I'm going to transition to the next part. And I'm going to do the same thing over and over again. I skill checked her, and I'm going to just keep tight kiting until I can get that 8-second renewal so I can use my next perfume. She hits me, and now I can move. Again, I got caught off guard. Geisha did a really good job at finding me. That's a really crappy part of the map. You can buy yourself a little bit of time, but not enough time to brag about your kite. And I was able to do everything that I needed to. I'll use a perfume, go around an area, and keep trying to circle around it so it buys me enough time, 8 seconds, to use the perfume. Now, some geishas won't hit you, and they'll just wait for it to end, which sometimes is a better option, because then if you're waiting to hit, there you go. She got her first hit. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to transition away, and we're going to move to the next part. And, every geisha player is different. Every geisha player uses their character different. I know she doesn't have dash right now, so that's why I'm able to move from that pallet, because I just skill checked her. So that's what I'm really hugging these walls, so it's hard for her to dash through. And now she gets stuck. I do feel bad for her on this one. But that's why it's hard for her. A lot of players don't hug the walls. I'm hugging these walls. I'm going to juke her right here. Now, this is where I screw up. I try to run to the pallet. I shouldn't have done that. I should have circled back around, but most likely she would have killed me anyways. And here we go. Duty is right there to do his job. We have 2 ciphers. We have 2 people decoding. This is enough time for him to harass. And this is what you're going to see a lot more in the high tiers. Once you're down to those 2 ciphers, you can send your prospector to go and harass as much as possible. You're going to see him do multiple stuns here. And the reason why he's doing these multiple stuns is he's giving a good kiter enough time to run away. And this is the sort of collaboration that you can expect when you play with people who know how to transition through the map correctly. And so now me and him are having a little fun. We're in voice comms, and I'm like, dude, just stick with me and let's see how long we can last for. So we're having a little fun here, but we're also trying our best to see what we can do as a team to continue working. And eventually I'm going to get hit, but we're going to try to prolong that because we don't really have voice comms with the rest of the team. So we haven't seen Cypher Machine primed yet, so we're going to keep doing our thing. And this is very frustrating for any hunter. They should pop it right now. And the geisha actually pulls off a very nice dash. It actually taught me something. I'm going to show you right here. I throw this pallet. She goes to the right, and then she gets that nice angle on me. That's going to redefine how I kite in that area. I might have to hug the wall to prevent that from happening. But I wanted to show you how I use a perfumer against Geisha. This is why some people are saying that Geisha needs to be buffed in the game. It's going to be difficult to do that because people were 4-manning some of the best teams on Leo's memory in the official Call of Abyss tournament. But she is difficult to use. She's difficult to use because of people like Perfumer and people like Prospector and people like Enchantress. But I wanted to show you how we play in the top tiers and how we transition, and it's not just decode, decode, decode. It's decode, decode, send one person, help the other person kite, and really harass the hunter. Just a very nice, easy gameplay. This is Legendary 5. I'm sorry, not Legendary 5. This is top tier gameplay. Hope you guys can appreciate it a little bit. And yeah, by all means, give me your feedback. Bye now.